The old lady is a food lover.
Forget mystique. This is about your cooking.
Hey, that's Gusteau. I mean, look.
Great cooking is not for the faint of heart. You must be imaginative, strong-hearted. You must try things that may not work. And you must not let anyone define your limits because of where you come from. Your only limit is your soul. What I say is true. Anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great.
Pure poetry.
All right.
I love that scene. And I love that. I love how much Remy, the protagonist, the rat, what's that?
Great movie, by the way.
Sensational film. Sensational film. Yeah, I love the way he like internalizes it and is just so deeply moved by a human. It's just I find that funny and cool. But yeah, the quote that I would like to point out, and I think there are like three there at least that are highly quotable and analytically and have analytical potential. But anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great. You know, I think it's interesting because anyone can cook is a mantra that's used throughout the film, and I think on a very human level, right? I think we internalize that simply and critically at the same time. At least personally, and I would venture to say others as well. Like we kind of accept that to be remotely and somewhat true, right? That mantra, anyone can cook, but we kind of have this cynical vibe in the back of our minds, right? Where we're like, well, that's not necessarily true. But when he breaks it down like that, it kind of lays it all out and really explains what the true meaning of the motto is, right? It's anybody can do almost anything, really. But doing it isn't enough, right? Greatness is what we should be striving for, and only the fearless can achieve that. I think that's really powerful. I think that's very profound, and I think it's a reminder to me that while I may be doing plenty of things on a daily or regular basis, that shouldn't be the extent of my goals, right? To achieve a task, I should be striving to achieve them well, and the only way to accomplish that is to launch into it fearlessly and bravely and holding nothing back. So I really like that line. Don't let your forget. I'm paraphrasing, but don't let anybody write you off because of where you come from. Your only your only limitation is your soul, something of that nature, right? Like you can unpack a lot of these things, but to me, that's the one that stands out. And I think it's absolutely true. If you're looking to achieve greatness, fear is going to be pretty much a non-starter in that equation, in my opinion. So,
as somebody who considers himself a master chef.
Oh boy, what, lentil soup? You mean?
No, we got more than lentil soup going. We got a whole, gastronomic arsenal. But it made me think of the moment. Okay, but like, what does it mean to be fearless? And the thing my mind immediately went to was being fearless means being not afraid to fail. That's what my mind went to. And I think there's tons of ways to define fearlessness, but in the context of cooking, that's what I kind of thought, and the reason for that is, in order to be great, I think it requires a certain authenticity, a certain creativity, and a certain willingness to try new things and go above and beyond. But at the same time, when you go beyond just the recipe book, let's say, and you go beyond, what's comfortable, you are inviting a greater risk that what you are making could be you not good or tasteless or disgusting or whatever. Um, but it's only the people who are not afraid of potentially failing who actually try and go out and go above and beyond because the fear of failure is not great enough to overcome their desire or ambition to be great. And that in turn is what separates them from other people and makes them great. Oh, sorry.
No worries. It actually reminds me of a quote that I live by largely and actually derived, I would like to think. I've never heard it before, so I would like to think that I discovered it, if anybody else would like to take credit for it. But it's something that I remind myself of, and it's true of myself, and I would hope others as well. I'm not afraid to be wrong, but I'm really, really terrified of not being right. And I think in many, many circumstances, being wrong is on the path to being right. And I would never fear being wrong in an effort to sacrifice a potential of discovery, right? I think that certainly equates to cooking. It equates to many, many, many things, certainly. And I think it's pretty clear and pretty obvious, right? Even for young children for whom this movie is pushed, is directed. I think if you're gonna strive to discover, if you're gonna strive for greatness, being wrong and failure is certainly going to happen along the way. And if you're afraid of that, you're never going to get to anything substantial.